Hey, what's going on? It's Derek with MyBeatFi.io. Just wanted to jump on here today and give you an update as to where we are with the website and our service. And we've got some great progress that we've achieved this week. Very happy with the site and where it is now. So we're going to jump right in here and kind of show you what we've done. Now you can see that the homepage has changed. I was looking around at some of the sites that I found on Reddit and individuals who are doing SaaS sites, and I said my site's a little bland. My focus in the beginning really was just to make sure that things work and the functionality was there, and that was real important to me. So I kind of leaned into that more than I leaned into design. When I started with bolt.new, and it just kind of gave me a design, and I was happy with that. I was like, okay, it's not something I should be embarrassed about showing anyone. But as I kind of got going in the process, I realized that there are some other sites and things out there with better UIs, and I don't have the greatest UI. This is a work in progress, and it'll be something that we'll continue to work on as time goes on, but we've got something, right? So we've got our homepage now that looks just a little bit different. We've got our start licensing button here now, and then our browse catalog button is here now. You can click either one of those, and then we have our menu with our little guitar here up at the top. So if you click on that, you can see the items in the menu. So if we go to start licensing, we click on that, that's just going to take us over to our membership plans, right? Nothing's really changed here. Everything's about the same. Should all work the same way as you've seen in previous videos. And we've got our create account button here, our login account button here, and then of course our menu. So let's go ahead and create an account. We notice that has changed as well. I'm just gonna create just a quick customer here. Doesn't really matter what the name is here. We're gonna say it's gonna be 4 Records LLC. We're gonna sign up as a client, and we're gonna make the login 444 at 444.com. Just something really generic, and then we're gonna make the email address something very generic, js1234 at 444.com or something. Who knows? We're not going to keep that. We're just going to go with it for right now. It says the password does not meet the requirements, so we probably should meet the requirements, right? So let's do it again, right? So we're going to go J capital S lowercase 1234, and then we're going to do like a pound sign or something. Do we have enough characters? Let's do the pound sign twice. All right, that works. We're gonna save it just so that we can use it. And I noticed that it didn't quite go over to my pay. Oh, took a little while, but I guess it does eventually go to your client dashboard once the account is set up. And oh, let's see. Looks like we're not on the right page here. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, so we got the client entered up into the system. We see his name here, Welcome John. Here we've added our coupons or our discounts. So any client that logs in, any discounts that we got going on, it's gonna appear here. It's a little bit off center because sometimes there'll be 2 or 3 of them, and so that will fill out a list here of discounts that you can use. We have a grand open 30, which is gonna be 30% off. You can actually just click on it here, copy that, or copy this code here, and you'll need that at checkout, right? But it's 30% off. We'll run different specials and things like that as time goes on. We also still have our edit profile here. You can go and edit, click here, add a photo if you want to add a photo. It's got the email address, name of the company. If you want to put your EIN there, you can, your business structure. If you want to add your address, you can do that. I'm not going to do all that now. That's very simple and easy to do. We'll save it so that we have our profile picture there. When we go back, it stays there. We have a managed plan. Right now you can see that he is on the single track license plan. So he's kind of on the pay-as-you-go plan, $9.99 per track. But if he went to managed plan, he can manage that here. Go to gold access, platinum access, or ultimate access right from inside the plan. And you can see here, this is his current plan. We have below that custom sync request that the client can make. So let's go ahead and make one really quickly. Let's see. Rock track for cooking show. I'll be back with you in just a minute here. When I click C, or I click, when I click C, I think it goes to a different view. So we're gonna have to stay away from the letter C. But rock track for cooking show. Let's copy that, place it here. Normally they're going to put in a description of what they want, right? They want this producer or artist to create something new for them. So this is going to be a cooking show, let's say on television, let's say local television, right? We'll say on local television. The budget's going to be $4,700, and we'll say the end submission date is by the end of the month. They're willing to pay net $30. The genre is going to be rock, and they want something maybe indie rock, we'll say, right? The artist name, we're going to say, who knows? James. Let's do this correctly here. Let's go. James Rocker. And the song title is going to be You. Who knows? They can actually put a reference URL here. They can make this an open request visible to all producers, which we're going to do now. We could select a preferred producer by selecting this and then typing the name, right? But we're going to just select open request for everyone. The special instruction is submit here to be reviewed, right? My typing is terrible, as you can tell. But they're going to be able to submit it right on the system. So we submitted the sync request. We can see that the request was successful. After we submit it, it takes us back to the client dashboard. So we've got our submission here for a custom sync request. And then what will happen is, as a producer, we will be able to submit to that request on the producer dashboard and start that conversation once they actually select our track. So we may be able to see some of that today. I think we showed you that in the last video, but we'll see some of that. Now they also have sync proposals here. We're going to go ahead and use this particular account to do a sync proposal as well. We'll say they're pretty busy. So I've got a sync only track. This is the only one I really have in there right now that we've uploaded that's just for sync only. So I'm going to hit the submit proposal. And I'm going to submit the proposal here. Comes up with the client name. I need this track. Oops, probably want to use this. I need this track for my new show. We're going to say perpetual, because we don't know how long the show is going to be. They want exclusive rights, and we'll say the sync fee they're offering is $2,000. They're willing to pay immediately upon acceptance, right? And then we'll say proposal expiration date is going to be the end of the month, and we'll make it an urgent proposal. Submit that proposal, and it says it's been submitted successfully. So now the client, I just fixed this where it goes back to the client dashboard, so it will go back to the client dashboard instead of sitting there. But you can see now we have a custom sync request, and now we have a sync proposal. Now there's going to be a little bit of a difference between the two. The sync proposals is tracks that the producer has put on the site, and they only want to get proposals for that particular track. They don't want to license it in the normal library or the general library. They're like, you got to contact me in order to use this track, and then we'll negotiate from there. Tell me what you're going to use it for, and we can negotiate. We want to give the producer that type of flexibility. Custom sync requests are when the client hasn't found anything particularly on the library that they want, but they want something really specific. Like if it's a podcast or something, they might want the name of their podcast in the song, or they want it to be about what the podcast is about. So they're going to say, I need something custom. And obviously that's going to cost a little bit more. We can use this, agencies can use this for film. Independent film. They can use it for bigger YouTube creators or things like that. So this is for special requests, special custom requests. It's kind of like a normal sync brief would be from an agency or something. So we want agencies to come onto our site and utilize it too, to look for music and to give opportunity to our producers. So we don't have any licensed tracks here yet. Let's just pick one down here in the new tracks section. We can go to view track. We can purchase a license here. We're going to scroll to the bottom here after reading the terms, of course. Accept the terms. And that should take us to a Stripe checkout, so that it's clear what's going on. They're not confused about who they're paying or how they're paying. We wanted a reputable service. Now, we do get a discount, right? So, oops, that's not what we want. I think it's Grand Open 30. I think that was the code. So let's see if we apply it, see what happens. Okay, we get our 30% off, right? It's not always going to be there, but right now I've got it on there just to test, right? We're going to use test credentials for the card. You can just type anything pretty much in there. What was his name? His name was John, right? Let's see, Sama or something like that we chose. It doesn't matter the country right now or whatever. I guess they can do a Cash App Pay or a crypto payment. We did set up for a crypto payment. They can pay in USDC. That gets sent to Stripe, and Stripe actually converts that to dollars, and they will pay out our producers in dollars. So you don't have to worry about getting crypto. I wish there was a way we can actually get paid in crypto and be able to extract it that way, but that's not the way Stripe has it set up right now. So we have to settle for just payment. So we're going to go ahead and pay for this license, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully our test credit card works. Looks like we're good. We did process that. We should be taken back now to the dashboard. Here we go. And now when we look down here, we've licensed the track. Right? So we've got where we can see the agreement here. Right? It's got the licensor, it's got the name, it's got the terms of the license, when it's good until. This is a single track license, so that's good for 1 year. And you can accept these two here and download the agreement. So you're going to be able to get a download of it. A client will get a download of it. I'm not going to do that here. We know what a download looks like, right? So you're going to be able to get a download there. Once they've paid, they can download the MP3 file. If you've submitted trackouts, they can download the trackouts, the split sheet as well. Now this says split sheet path does not match the expected pattern. Please check upload logic and database. Okay, so we'll have to figure that out. Let me copy that really quickly. And I'm going to stick that here. And I'll come back and I'll work on that this afternoon. But normally that won't be there, right? They can listen to the track here. Oops, it's a little loud in here. So they can listen to the track there. But you can see that it's in their list of tracks that they can utilize. And they've got the agreement and everything right at their fingertips. How long did that take us? It didn't take us all that long, right? It'll probably take you longer just to search for what you're looking for. But yeah, that's the way that works. If we go to our browse catalog, you can see all the tracks that I've got in there. Say I like this track Majesty and I'm looking for something jazzy. I'm going to go ahead and favorite that for later, and then go back to my dashboard. And I can see that it's been added to my favorites. I can listen to it here. I can click this to view the track, and then from there, it'll take me to the licensing on it. So that's kind of how all of that works. Now, what you'll notice here in the sync proposals is there's a history, there's negotiate, accept and decline. All of that works now. Let's actually log out of here. I'm going to sign out. And I'm going to log in as a producer. And that's going to be a different login down here somewhere. Yeah, this one will work. That's my producer login. And now you can see that I can see the open custom sync request on my side because these were set up as any producer can see them. So all the producers have an opportunity. Now, if it was set up just for me or just for another producer, only that producer would actually see that custom request. But this customer doesn't really know us like that. So they're like, just send it out to them and see what comes back, right? Now we can submit a track for this rock track for a cooking show, right? So if we want to submit a track, we go over here, we put in the track name, the track BPM, we're going to put in the track key, and then we're going to send them the MP3 file, right? And then we can say, are there stems available or are there track outs available? We can set that all up, right? So let's do that. Let's just send a test track, right? Let's see. We're going to avoid the C because that will change my screen. We're going to say the BPM's 120, and we're going to go with E major, right? Or E minor. E minor, right? And then we choose an MP3 file. I'm just going to pick one from here, upload it. Trackouts are available, maybe not stems. We're going to go ahead and submit that. And now we've got a submission for this rock track for the cooking show. I don't know what that actual MP3 is, but it's something. We can see the active submission up here, right? And we can see it's in consideration, right? So that's always good. Now, when the customer sees it on their side, they're going to be able to see this track that you've submitted just now, and they're going to be able to favorite it. And then you'll see something here saying that it was favorited, and they're going to be able to accept it and say, hey, this is the track we want to use, and then communicate with you about that. Now, down here, you can see these are all the tracks me as a producer have uploaded here. You can see I've got my first $6 here because I used the client to do a test run on this particular track. Remember, it was 30% off, so it's $6 because it was what $9.99 or whatever minus the 30%. It's like $6 earned on this track. Now you can see here too that under the sync proposals, we've got a couple of sync proposals here. We've got one for 4,600. We've got another one for 2,000. So we've got a couple of different clients saying, hey, I want to use this track, right? Now you can, it's not exclusive. As long as they're not saying it's exclusive, you can actually lease this out or license it out to multiple people, right? That's kind of what you want so that you get your publishing and your royalties on the back end. That's what you kind of want to start building for yourself. So you can negotiate with them, right? Here's the one, the Got No Time one here. We can see what the history says. I need this track for my new show. Obviously, they're going to give you more information than that, but this is just for today's purposes. So we're going to negotiate now. And we're going to say, great. Oops. Hit the wrong deal here. All right, so great. Let's do it. We're not going to really do a counter offer. We can put in a counter offer if we wanted a different money or we wanted different payment terms or whatever. We can actually do that, but they're offering $2,000. They want to pay us. They're offering 2,000 here. They want to pay us right away. So we're not going to complain about that. We're not going to change it. We don't have anything to attach. No other terms. We're just going to send the response. All right, so now we notice that our indication that there's a message or something going on is no longer there because we've sent out our message to the other side, to the client, so that the client can kind of talk to us and figure out, you know, what they want to do going forward. So let's go here. Let's go ahead and sign out here. I'm going to sign in again as the client. And where's our 444? Here it is right here, right? That's why I saved it. And we're going to go down here to our sync proposals. We've got one that's pending and active. We can see that there's a message waiting for us here. We want to look at the history. Great, let's do it. We can see what the person wrote to us. We can go into the negotiation and go, yeah. So we can accept whatever proposed changes. We're going to go ahead and accept those. Now it's pending the producer, right? So we've basically accepted, but in order for it to move into this accepted tab, it needs to be accepted by the producer as well. So we're going to have to go over there. Let's go out of here and let's accept it as the producer. I know this looks crazy because I'm just one person doing it, but normally it's going to be one producer on one side, client on the other side, right? But we want you to see how this actually works. So I'm going to go ahead and let's take a look. Oops, not the negotiation. Let's take a look at the history. Doesn't really say what he did here, but we want to go ahead and accept it because it's pending. And now it's gone from this list. It's in the accepted tab. And it's showing that the due date is today, right? So they should be paying. It's not overdue really, but they should be paying us today because we've accepted today, right? So yeah, so now it's pending payment. If we go back, we're going to be able to see that on the client side. Payment pending. Now it's accepted because both parties have accepted it. And it's in the payment pending for the client so that they can go ahead and get you paid, right? It's telling them when it's due, and then it says complete payment, right? So let's go ahead and complete the payment. Like a good customer would do. Now they can't use that discount. They shouldn't be able to use that discount. We don't see that come up here, right? It's not available. They can't just get 30% off unless I set it up on the back end for it to apply to custom syncs. But normally we're not going to do that because you're negotiating your fee, right? So we're not going to do that to you. So I wanted you to see that, to know that it's just not a 30% across the board. You don't have to mark up your price because of that. So let's put some nonsense in here. John, well, we'll just go with John Smith or whatever at this point in time. We'll go ahead and pay. And we should have $2,000 towards our rainy day fund. Good. Looks like our payment completed with our test account. We got a thank you here telling you what we did. We got our track, what the license length is, what type of project it was, the amount paid for it, the payment terms were immediate, and the license has been activated, and you can now use this track in your project. So now we're going to go to our dashboard, and we should have it on our list here. Oh, it still says payment pending. I got to watch for that. I got to figure out why that still says payment pending. It shouldn't. It should say paid. So we're going to figure out what happened with that. But that's kind of the process for it. It will move over into this paid column. Definitely should do that. I don't know why it did not. But that's kind of the process that we've got for it. That's definitely going to work this afternoon. So I don't know what happened there. But yeah, that's how we would work with that. We can see the submissions on this rock track for cooking show. We submit that. Let's go see our submissions. And you can see the test track that I submitted as a producer. I can play it from here. And if the client likes it, they can select the track, confirm the selection, and now other things open up. They can message the producer, or they can go ahead and pay. Normally, they'll probably want to message the producer, make sure the tracks and everything are going to be fine and everything before they make this $4,700 payment, right? So they can hit the message the producer and then talk to them right here. All right. We have delete all except the favorites, because they can actually favorite the track or favorite a number of tracks, and then they can delete all except the favorites and just see the ones that they favorited. So that they don't have to be going through a huge list of different submissions to look for the ones they actually liked, right? They can like them, favorite them, then delete all except the favorites, and then they're only dealing with the ones that they want to choose from. So that's cool. So they would typically go through here, go through the Stripe payment and all that stuff after conversating with the producer. If something happens in the conversation, they're not so keen on working with that producer, they can actually deselect it and select another track that was submitted as well. So they don't have to go all the way through with it. So you gotta, if you're a producer, you want to take care of your business, right? Let's go ahead and log out here. This is cool because we're learning what works and what doesn't. There's a few little things here and there, but most everything is working. It's pretty good. Pretty happy about that. So on the producer dashboard, our revenue and stuff didn't change. So we've got to make sure this one that got paid for shows up as paid. Something happened in the back end. It didn't let it know that it was paid. But as soon as it does that, you're going to be able to view that in your earnings. So we had a $6 sale on the for the licensing. The single track license that was bought with the 30% discount. So you would actually earn $4.50 as the producer, because you get a percentage of that. I think it's 75% that the producer gets. The company gets 25% on single tracks. I don't think that was real clear in the last video, so I wanted to be sure about that. But you're going to start to see your transactions here as they start to come in. They're going to list here. And it's going to show you what your balance is. That $2,000 is going to show up here, minus the commission for the firm, which is, I think, 15% or something. We get 85% of that $2,000 goes to the producer. For custom syncs, it's 90% to the producer, 10% to the company. So the bigger thing that you sell, the less we get. So we want to make it really, really incentivize the producers to actually put music on the site and be able to do some deals, right? That's going to be real important. So you can see how some of that stuff's working here. If you go to total revenue, you can click on that. Oh, this showed the 2,000, but it says that the payment is waiting for completion. So we're going to figure that out. It's just a little bit of logic or something that's not quite right. Part of it happened, and then the other part's not reading from the right place in the database or something. But we'll fix that. And then we can select, how we want to print this. So I can select which cover I want to use for the printing. Let's say this purple one here. If I want to print this report and download it, I can go ahead and click it, download it, and it shows up here. That's just the cover for it, and then here's the report itself. So I have access to that. So that's kind of cool there. You can also look at resources. I'll go through some of the other things here. We've got resources on the site now. So we've got contracts and legal, website resources, book recommendations, forms, and templates. This is all for the producers to be able to gather information. We have the split sheet down here that you can download. I think it was Songtrust I got this split sheet from. You can download it. I've been using it. It works wonderful. It's a PDF. I just update it for the particular track, and then I upload it along with the track. Speaking of upload, we do have the upload track button here. You're going to be able to put in the track details, BPM, key, whether it has a sting ending or not, whether it's one-stop production, which it should be, your cover art, your audio file, which should be an MP3, and then your trackouts link. So what I create is a zip file of the track outs, and I keep that in the folder where all the other stuff is, and I upload it here. The split sheet, you can upload the split sheet PDF here. You can upload your stems link if you've got stems. Maybe you don't have track outs, maybe you just have stems. If you don't have either, you'll just have this MP3 file and it'll say MP3 only. The client knows what they're getting. They're not thinking I'm getting all of the track outs and the stems or whatever, because they'll realize that it says MP3 only. But you have the ability to choose what you're going to offer for that particular track. Whether the track contains vocals, is it a clean version of an explicit song, yes or no? Or this track contains explicit lyrics. If you've got explicit lyrics, you have to disclose that so that they know that it's explicit, because they can't use it that way. But if you got a clean version, I recommend that you put that up as well so that you have the clean version of the song. They might want both, who knows? Sync only, is this sync only or not? This track is only available for submitted sync proposals. You can select that here too in the vocal section. Genres, then you can pick what genres you want to deal with or what your music falls into that category. Children and family, you'll see that subgenres pop up here as well. So you can say children and family, but then it's kids pop, or it's a Disney style track, or it's whimsical, or it's interactive. You can choose that, right? Hip hop might be old school, might be lo-fi, might be conscious rap, might be trap. You can select that when you're uploading. You want to give as much data as possible so that the customer or the client can search for something specific and your track will pop up. Then you've got moods. You got happy and upbeat. You select that. You can select, oh, this is a playful or joyful track. This is a bright track, lively. You can make those selections. And you've got a bunch of those moods that you can select from, right? Then you've got what instruments. So sometimes they'll be like, oh, I'm looking for an acoustic guitar. I'm looking for this type of drum or something, or some type of world, thing. World instrument or something. If you've got a track that fits that, you need to put that here just so that it pops up when they do their search for it. And then you've got your media usage types. So this is going to be for the deep media search portion of the site, where you can select, oh, this is good for television primetime drama. This is good for Netflix. This is good for dating shows. And you can just scroll down here, streaming platforms, film and cinema, YouTube and digital video, podcasts. So you can kind of say this is what it's for, and they'll be able to search that on the front end, and whatever they're looking for, it'll come up and try to match the tracks that fit, right? Even advertising and corporate stuff, education and non-profit. So once you've submitted everything or you've gotten all the information in, this will light up here and you'll be able to save the track and it'll go in your list of tracks. So that's the upload form and some of the new things that are on it for producers. So it's pretty cool. You've got some more analytics and stuff down here that you can kind of click on. It's basically that same revenue breakdown report. It's the same. Now, when you delete tracks here, you can delete a track. It's going to go to the deleted tracks here. It's not going to go away because you probably have licenses attached to that track. So we want it out there in the deleted tracks so that if you ever need to put it back or something, you just come here and you can restore it and it'll go back into this list. Then you can update the track. Say you forgot something about the track or whatever and you want to change it. You can come in here, see what the current settings are, and then add genre. You're going to have to select at least one genre. It makes you select the genre. Your moods, what instruments, and then the media types. Television, streaming platforms, all of this stuff here. Social media. You'll be able to select that stuff. Whether it's a full track with vocals. If you want to make it sync only now, you can make it sync only. If you've got stems and you didn't before, now you can put your stems link in there, or upload your stems. I don't know why this stems URL is here. I'm going to get rid of that too. Let me grab this really quickly. I'm just looking at things that will need to be fixed. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here. on the list of things that need to be fixed. But anyway, that's where you can edit your track and make it a little bit more searchable for the client, right? So that's pretty much everything. You can update your profile here. All that information for your profile information will be here. And that's going to help you because in the browse tracks, your name is going to be down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the track. So when I click on that, it's going to bring up my producer profile for the client. And they can see, oh, he's got 26 tracks. Oh, let me click on this. And it's going to bring up all of your tracks for him. So, and then you're going to be able to search those tracks, I guess, by name and all that kind of stuff. Or whatever moods or whatever, that type of thing. But that's why you want to fill out that profile information. So if they click on it and want to learn about you, they can kind of learn about you, be able to get your BMI or your ASCAP or whichever your PRO information, be able to get that at a moment's notice without having to contact you. That's really important. So that you're making it really easy for the client to do business with you. Now we have the music catalog here. We have search here now. So we can search for something like, let's say, jazz. Oops. I think we got off of here. And we've got jazz tracks that came up. Now there's a yellow outline around the card. So that means it's a partial match. So even though these are jazz related tracks, maybe their genre is jazz, they might have a subgenre or maybe some other information attached to it that would make it better for, say, an actual exact match. I'll show you that. If I put in here pop, then I've got a pop track that's a partial match, right? But what if I put pop dance? Oops. I put pop dance. Now it's an exact match because that's how it's listed in the database, right? That's some of the information that was put in when I uploaded the track. So that's why it's important to put in information when you upload your track and have the right information, because eventually someone's going to search for it and it might be an exact match for you. Not everything is going to be an exact match. Some things will be exact matches, other things will be partial matches, and there will be other results. Things that they may fit for them, but it's not exactly what they said they were looking for, right? But we're striving for those exact matches because we don't want to waste the client's time when they go to find a track, right? So that's kind of how that works. You can search it here. We're building into the system basically like AI. So it's like the AI search brain, and this will grow as you start to search. So I just searched for jazz. Recent search was pop dance, pop dance. It's going to remember what you've searched, and then eventually it's going to give you suggestions here. This is not quite working just yet. I just did this yesterday. I revamped the AI yesterday. So what it's going to do, though, is give you suggested tracks or suggested searches that you might do based on things that you've licensed and your patterns. That's what we're aiming for with that. So it takes a little while for that information to grow, but that's kind of where we're going with that. And it'll allow you to search for tracks from here as well, right? So we also have advanced filters here. So depending on what service level the company that you're using this software through, MyBeatFi is my company, so I'll always have enterprise. Not everyone will have that. Some people will be the starter plan. There's a pro plan for the white labels. They won't have all of this stuff unless they pay for that add-on. But I have AI search, deep media, and the producer onboarding. And so we've got the advanced filters. I can select the genre here. I can select subgenres, moods, instruments, media types, BPM, and then whether the track is sync only or whether it is a track with vocals. I can select that here, and I can kind of narrow down my search, and I'm hoping to get some exact matches. If not exact, maybe I get some partial matches, right? So let's go to hip hop and rap. Let's go ahead and just search that. Let's see. Oh, I think I'm in the header there. Okay, so it didn't really return anything there. I don't know why. Let's see. Let's try again. Let's go R&B and soul, alternative hip hop. I don't really have anything maybe that fits that per se. Let's maybe try pop. If that doesn't work, then something's wrong. We'll have to go back. Oh, that did work. So it's gonna be kind of finicky a little bit for a little while. I'm gonna keep working with the search as I'm building and as I'm continuing on. I'm gonna keep working on it and refining it so that it does exactly what we want it to do. Because it shouldn't be that stringent. It should have actually come up with something for hip hop. Let's try 90s hip hop and see what happens. See, something came up, but I think it's a little stringent for hip hop because hip hop can be spelled like hip hop or spaced or dashed, right? So it could be any of those things, so that's why. And I think maybe it's just a little strict right now. So, but you can see that we got partial matches, right? We got a bunch of different matches that popped up for us. So the search, we'll figure out those little nuances and those little things there that's going to help us to refine our search for the clients. This is something that's really kind of new as of yesterday too. I kind of took it all apart and rebuilt it again. So, I think we're in a good place though. Other than that, one thing I wanted to show, the announcements. I did want to show that. So now you'll be able to see the announcements in a grid fashion. So you'll be able to get news and things I think are interesting, right? And pretty much anybody can view that. We've got a services directory. So we'll have recording studios, recording engineers, graphic artists. We may think of some other things like record labels or something. I don't know. We'll add services here as we go. But if you're an engineer or something and you do great work, you probably want to be listed here. If you're a mastering engineer, you want to be listed here so that our producers have someone to go to when they need something, or artists that are on the site eventually have someone they can go to get what they need. So that's the services page. We already did the producer resources page. We showed you that. We have the About Us and the Contact Us page. You've kind of already seen that already. It's a little different now than what it was. I don't know if that's going to be the background on that. The Contact Us page, we can send that out so that we can respond to clients. Let's see. We've got the internal chat, which we've shown you before. We can create chat rooms and talk amongst ourselves. We've got producer payments. That's more on the admin side. I didn't show you the admin dashboard. That's had a lot of adjustment here too. So now we've got 2 clients, we've got 2 producers, 1 sale that we just practiced today, the $6. So that shows up here. The comprehensive revenue report, that shows our $6 sale. It didn't show our $2,000 sale, so we're gonna check that out and figure out why. We've got a bunch of tabs here, analytics. Not a whole lot going on there now. But we've got advanced analytics. We can print that out as a PDF or as a CSV file. We've got the list of producers, which are basically myself right now. You can see my 26 tracks, the 1 sale I just did, the revenue. I'll be able to see all that. The client list, their membership plan, all of that. The announcements I can manage from here. Compensation plan is here. I can manage that here. Discounts, I can manage that. This is our grand opening 30% off discount. White label clients will be managed here. I can manage genres here. So if we've got a genre that you needed added or a subgenre that you want added, we can always add that. As a producer, you might want to be specific about what you're what you're uploading, right? So you might say, oh, this is this particular type of music, but you don't have a genre for it. Can you add it? And we'll go ahead and add it. Instruments. So if you got a special type of instrument or something you don't really see, or a sub instrument, you got to let us know. We've got contact messages. So when they contact us through the site, it comes here. I know what's there, what's read and what's not. producer applications. The producer applications will come in from the site and it will be ranked. We have a point system based on the answers that you give. And it's going to tell us whether we want to bring you on as a producer or we're just not able to because of the answers. There's a little quiz in there about sync and licensing or whatever. So you got to take some free course or something about sync licensing, know something about it before you can come on board, because it's a little different than selling your beats. It's not the same thing, right? You're selling it, but you're doing it in a different way, and you're dealing with clients that might have a little bit bigger budget, or they're kind of really dealing specifically with you. So you got to kind of formulate things the way that are palatable to your client, right? So this whole thing works when the producer applications come in. I can send you an invitation, and then you sign up with that invitation code and you're all good. You can start uploading to the site. This is where we manage the services, or, they'll be here when they're uploaded. Search synonyms. So when people are searching for something like commercial, if they search, I'm looking for something for ads or marketing or whatever, they can put that in the search and it's going to know that it's something commercial or dramatic, right? Intense, emotional, powerful. We can put more synonyms to the search words and to the genres so that it'll kind of point them, or the mood or whatever can kind of point them to a specific mood, and we can return that exact match or whatever. So this is something that will be grown out as well as time goes on. And then, of course, we got a background manager. I can change the backgrounds on the sites, on some of the pages and all that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much what we got here. Let's go back to the analytics. We can see in the analytics here how many proposals are out there for the custom syncs and for the sync proposal. I can see that company wide, so we can keep an idea of, get an idea of what's going on, right? So that's pretty much what we got. This is where we add or manage services. We can add or manage the resources here, and I can update the logo on the site. All that's good right now. Not a whole lot I want to do there. I don't think there's anything else really that I really want to show today. Let's go ahead and log out here. This is my BeatFi sync. We're making a lot of good progress here. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you're a producer who is interested in sync and you're learning about sync already and you're ready to come on board and start putting your music up, then contact us, let us know, and we'll get you kind of in that process. We're probably not going to add everyone right now. I want to start with some of my own tracks, just kind of see what happens, make sure that things work a little bit smoothly, and so that when you come on board, you don't go through all the problems that I'm probably going to go through. Like we saw today, we saw a couple of things that were not working, right? So we're going to have to fix those things. I'm going to work on that stuff this afternoon. It's only 12:30 here, so I got some time to work on that stuff this afternoon and get that straightened out. But we'll find little bugs and we'll find little things that don't quite work quite right or whatever. I don't want you guys to have to go through that. I'm going to go through that personally first. Fix those things and then start bringing people on. I don't know about artists just yet. The problem with artists is, you may have songs, but I don't know that you own the rights to those songs. The number one thing here is you're going to have 100% ownership of what you're putting up on the site, or you have to have the right to actually license it. So you can't be a singer that just, has a producer, or, sometimes there's 10 producers on a song in the background somewhere, and then you license the track and they don't get paid. They got to be on that split sheet and they got to know about it. So you're going to have to get them to sign off on split sheets and things like that. That's why we have the uploaded split sheet, so our clients know that there's not going to be some surprise at the end. Somebody's going to come along as a surprise and say, hey, you're using my track and I didn't give permission for that. You don't want that for your business, because they're never going to license with you again if you give them that type of a problem. They might have to take down their whole YouTube video, or they might have to rework their whole podcast because you didn't, get all the permissions that you should get. We don't want any of those kind of problems. As soon as we see that, we're shutting you down. You're not going to be able to work with us. So this is really important for us. So we've got to have people that know about sync, have taken some type of sync course or whatever. That's going to be important. We're not going to let just anybody on. And artists, we're probably not going to build that out yet until I am confident that I have a way to make sure that we know we're getting tracks that are actually able to be licensed and are one-stop licensing opportunities, right? So once again, it's Derek with MyBeatFi. Hopefully, you like what you saw here today. I'm very proud of the work that I've done. It's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and fist pounding and trying to get it done, but we're here. So I hope that you all have a good day. We'll talk to you soon. Peace out. Peace.